We are still here at the Media Hub just in front of the Cape Town City Hall. This is where the 2023 State of the Nation address will be delivered by President Cyril Ramaphosa. Of course, it's a scorcher of a day in Cape Town, and we are still going to give you the running commentary and analysis of tonight's event. Joining me now is the ANC spokesperson, Ms. Mahlengi Bhengu-Motsiri. Ma'am, thank you so much for joining us. The President would be put on the back foot by the recent load shedding and rolling blackouts. Is the ANC as the party feeling the heat around the effects of this load shedding?
Naturally, because it's a less than ideal state, which is why the ANC has recommended to government that a declaration of the national state of disaster should be considered. So we're looking forward to listening to what the president has to say. We've gone further to also outline a range of measures that needs to be fast-tracked to accelerate addressing the energy crisis and load shedding. So we're quite concerned, genuinely concerned about it, and we are looking for action in as far as that is concerned.
Naturally, government would be the one that deals with the modalities of how the state of national disaster is going to work. As the ANC, what advice have you given to your employees in terms of how this state of national disaster should work?
You know, I was saying earlier to another media house that we are very careful not to conflate the party with the state.
But you already have. You've given your employees marching orders to declare a state of national disaster.
It's not a conflation, though. It is a governing party advising its employees. So, in terms of your question, we are looking at, invoking the Disaster Management Act and to look at whether that legislation will enable government to do this thing that we are talking about. We've gone further to also say, if that is the case, then it means that a policy process needs to be rolled out, and it's a process of government. If I pronounce on that, I'll be preempting what the president is going to say regarding further measures to make this happen.
Now, as the party, how would you respond to the criticism that, this state of national disaster is not an ideal situation, given what we've seen in the past of corruption during the COVID-19 period?
Well, I always would, my response to that, and our response to that would be that where we had instances of corruption, judge us on the measures and the steps we took to recover monies that were stolen. Judge us against what the Zondo Commission has been doing. Judge us against what the Special Investigations Unit has been doing to recoup stolen funds where they've been stolen, and a whole range of the interventions to really restore confidence in how we act and how we govern during a state of disaster.
Looking at what's going to be happening tonight, if anything that the EFF says is that they intend to disrupt tonight's proceedings in order to hold the president accountable over the Phala matter. As the party, you were reportedly in a process of investigating that matter through the Special Committee of Elders. Now, can you give us up to speed in terms of how that process has been unfolding? Where is it at the moment? And when do you expect finality within the party?
Well, we would be looking to receive that report. There's an internal process, processing of this report, and you can be assured that the ANC would be able to report publicly once that internal process has unfolded. Regarding the possible or potential disruption, I will leave that to our parliamentary caucus team, because that's the work of the team that's in Parliament to do a detailed commentary. But I may just say that we do want South Africans to have the benefit of listening to their president, and they do deserve that. It's their right to be allowed to listen to their president. And so as the governing party, we are not going to be distracted by that.
Given the national interest in this particular matter, are you not dragging your feet? When can the public expect this announcement of how the party is going to be dealing with this particular matter?
Are you referring to the Phala?
The Phala matter, yes.
I don't think we're dragging our feet. Its due process is unfolding, and it's important that that due process is faultless, and I think that is what exactly we are doing.
All right, before I let you go, the issue of the rising cost of living in South Africa is one of the things that is in the top of everybody's mind. As the party, what advice have you given the president in terms of, dealing with this particular issue of the cost of living?
We know, following the president's address, we will be doing a little bit of a roadshow, writing a lot of commentary around our own proposals for addressing, dealing with the cost of living. We have requested that the address of the president should really provide a strong focus on economic measures to deal with what you are referring to, unemployment, particularly youth unemployment, and a range of things to demonstrate that we are indeed seeking to protect poor households especially, and also seeking to protect small businesses during this difficult time.
Your message to those businesses that have closed down, we saw a front page splash of the number of small businesses that have closed down as a result of the load shedding. As the ANC, do you take responsibility? Do you want to apologize to those businesses? What's your position as the ANC to those small businesses who could be operating now, but because of load shedding, they've had to close down?
I will say that if you go to and go through our January 8 statement, comprehensive statement on this matter, you probably would find a number of answers there. That's the first point. The second one related to load shedding. If you go through our Likhutla commitments and the recent National Executive Committee of the ANC, again, you will find that one of the things we are saying
For the benefit of South Africans, we have not gone through those documents. I'm saying that I'm giving you a chance now to respond to those things.
Sure. Now, we've definitely internalized the current crisis. There are various reasons. The energy crisis is also quite historic. It has been unfolding over time. I think the ANC was painfully aware of that. I think the government is going to be expressing a view about owning this crisis, and not just owning the crisis, and further outlining the things we're going to be doing to claw back as a society. And that includes a priority on small businesses as well as poorer households.
My last question, I want to ask you on this again. As the party, what is your message to those small businesses that have closed down as a result of this load shedding, given that the party is taking responsibility for this matter? There's a splash that was put out in one of the publications not so long ago. What are you saying to those businesses and those business owners who've actually gone under as a result of this load shedding?
I mean, it is easy, I can express a view, but I think the devil is what we do post the SONA to address the challenge. I would say that as the ANC, we are painfully aware. As the ANC, I think we own parts of the challenge because, again, the energy crisis isn't just about what the government does. The energy crisis is also about compacting with the private sector. The energy crisis is also about energy used by households. So there is a level of responsibility on all of us to address this matter. But in as far as government, which is led by the ANC, is concerned, we do need to take ownership for the part that the ANC needs to own up to as a governing party.
Do you apologize to those businesses?
I think we do, certainly, because if we don't apologize, what are we saying?
All right, thank you so much. Mahlengi Bhengu-Motsiri, ANC spokesperson, giving us the party's view on the upcoming State of the Nation address that will start this evening at 7 o'clock. You can stay tuned to our SABC news channels in terms of all the rolling coverage